राम 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 सर्वेभ्यः हृत्पूर्वक नमस्काराः। प्रवेशकक्ष्यायां सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। अद्यतनपाठः अष्टमः पाठः। यथा प्रतिवारं कुर्मः तथा पुनरावर्तनं किञ्चिदिव कृत्वा अग्रे गमिष्यामः। प्रथमतः गुरुवन्दनम् उक्त्वा मङ्गलश्लोकद्वयं च उक्त्वा कक्षायाः प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। सर्वे कृपया श्लोकान् वदन्तु इति प्रार्थये। गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे, गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः, मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। ब्रवीमि संस्कृतं वाचा, ध्यायामि संस्कृतं हृदा, कुर्वे सेवाञ्च कायेन, वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम्। यो नरः संस्कृतव्योम्निह्यालयं रमते मुदा, संस्कृतिं चैव संस्कारं विन्दते नात्र संशयः। अद्यतनपाठः अष्टमः पाठः। गतसप्ताहे वयं सर्वे सप्तमपाठं पठितवन्तः पठितवत्यः च। तत्र अस्माभिः अपि इति एव अतः च यतः इत्येषां प्रयोगः कथं करणीयः इति अस्माभिः ज्ञातं। रामः अपि फलं खादति, सत्यं वद धर्मं चर इति तैत्तिरीयोपनिषत् वदति। सः अन्नम् एव खादति, अस्वास्थ्यमस्ति, अतः सः विद्यालयं न गच्छति। एवं विवेकः आनन्दः च गच्छतः। सः उपवासम् आचरति यतः अद्य एकादशी। एवम् अस्माभिः उदाहरणानि ज्ञातानि। तत्र कथा अपि अस्माभिः पठिता, न्यायश्रद्धा इति गतसप्ताहे। तत्र संस्कृतवाङ्मयपरिचये अस्माभिः गद्यकाव्यं नाम किं, श्रव्यकाव्यं नाम किं, तत्र महाकाव्यानि पञ्चमहाकाव्यानि कानि, प्रसिद्धानि गद्यकाव्यानि कानि, प्रसिद्धानि चम्पूकाव्यानि कानि इति अस्माभिः पठितानि खलु। तदनन्तरम् अस्माभिः सुभाषितमपि पठितं। त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे, ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत्, ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे, आत्मार्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत् इति अस्माभिः ज्ञातं गतसप्ताहे। तत्र अभ्यासकक्षा अपि आसीत् खलु सुधा भगिन्या सह। अभ्यासकक्षायाम् अपि सप्तमः पाठः पठितः। इदानीम् अद्यतनपाठः अष्टमः पाठः। प्रथमतः सूक्तिं पठामः। ज्ञातसारोऽपि खल्वेकः संदिग्धे कार्यवस्तुनि। In every lesson we are starting with certain proverbs. So today we are commencing the 8th lesson. Very much in brief, I just gave you the overview of what we did in the previous class. We didn't go through the slides today. They are all there. 7th lesson slides are uploaded. The video, audio, they're all uploaded. So those who have missed can go through that. Today we are going to commence the 8th lesson. As usual, we begin with the proverb. Jnatasaraha api खलु एकः संदिग्धे कार्यवस्तुनि। ज्ञातसारः, अत्र ज्ञातसारः plus api. That is how this first word is split. Jnatasaraha plus api. This is called avagraha chinha, this particular S-like symbol. It denotes what we call a purva rupa sandhi, which you will learn later when you're studying Sanskrit. So instead of the avagraha chinha, when we split, it becomes jnatasaro plus api. And further, if we split, it becomes jnatasaraha plus api. This is just for your information because we wonder what is this symbol. And there is no separate pronunciation for the symbol. We just say jnatasaropi. Khalu ekah sandigdhe karya vastuni. So let us see the meaning of this. Sorry. Ekah jnatasaraha api. Even though a person is knowledgeable. Ekah, one person. Jnatasaraha. Sara, as you know, is the essence. So when we study something, initially we might just read. Like for example, let us take the example of Bhagavad Gita. As children, as in not only in terms of age, but when we are new entrants to the Gita, we try to learn the shlokas. We try to familiarize ourselves with the letters, with the words. Then we want to know the meaning. So we'll just know the word to word meaning grammatically, read some translations or read Sanskrit to understand. But Sara, to understand the essence, it is a long journey with any kavyam or with anything for that matter, any field of knowledge. So even though a person is jnata saraha, he has understood the essence. He is not just a new entrant beginning to understand the basics. He has completely digested the field of knowledge and he has understood the essence of it. Even to such a person, ekaha jnatasaraha api khalu means indeed in Sanskrit. Karya vastuni, when anything has to be undertaken. Karya is work. When a work has to be undertaken, ekaha jnatasaraha api karya vastuni sandigdhe khalu. That is the avyayam. Anvayam. That means the prose order. Ekaha jnatasaraha api karyavastuni sandigdhe khalu. This means whenever, even though a person is very knowledgeable, has understood the essence of something, when he or she has to undertake a work, the person will be in doubt. Sandigdhe is in doubt. Even though a person is very knowledgeable, when a work has to be undertaken, he or she is doubtful, isn't it? Or indeed. Khalu can also mean isn't it? Or it can mean indeed. So why this is so? We all experience this, especially after we study some field of knowledge, pursue some degree, etc. Once we enter the workforce, then the skills required, etc. are very different. So just reading something, understanding the essence is not the be-all and end-all of it, right? So only when we start working and applying what we have studied, that's when, even though we have studied a field of knowledge so well, you will be in doubt. Doubts arise as to how to apply. I mean, all of us will have our own experiences from our own fields of work, etc. But you come across this in every field. So which is why only when you apply, when you start working, then it becomes clearer. So even though you have studied so much, when the work is to be undertaken, a person is doubtful. This is the meaning of this. So example, when we study legislations, etc., we study statutes. But even a small word, word which seems very simple in a statute, when you read it, when you have to apply it to particular fact situation, that's when every case, we think about it, we ponder over how should it be interpreted, and what are the other precedents and other, guides for interpretation. In this particular fact scenario, how should it be interpreted? Sometimes even a small word, it becomes contentious on how exactly it should be interpreted. So application will require a lot of skills. And even though we have studied it very well, we will be in doubt when we have to undertake a task. That is the meaning of this particular sukti. Jnata saropi khalvekah sandigdhe karyavastuni. Even though a person is learned, when a task is to be undertaken, becomes doubtful. Now we will learn a very interesting pratyayas which we use very frequently in Sanskrit conversation. So we have learnt about kridantaha. Khalu, we studied about tavatu pratyayah in the previous lesson. We learnt balika shlokam likhitavati. The girl wrote a shloka, a verse. So here we have learnt how it was a bhuta kridanta, and the krit pratyaya adding is, the krit pratyaya, it is giving the sense of past tense. Today we will learn two other krit pratyayas, that is tva pratyaya and lyap pratyaya. Very interesting kridantas. So we all know krit pratyayantaha kridantaha. That I gave you the definition in one of the previous classes. Any word ending with a krit pratyaya is called a kridanta. And krit pratyayas, we saw how they get added to dhatus, and they have different functions. Now we are going to be introduced to two other pratyayas. Pratyayas are suffixes. We have already learned this. So I will do one thing. Today I will start with some of the examples in the book. So we will start reading the sentences. Those who have the textbooks, please keep them. Otherwise, I will just read it out aloud to you. Then we will see how this pratyaya applies. Aham kriditva pathami. Aham kriditva pathami. I study after playing. Kriditva. So, krid dhatu, that is to play. Kriditva pathami. So, there are two actions happening here. Playing and reading. So, one is happening after the other. Aham kriditva pathami. Having played, I read. So, first I play, then I read. So, having played, I read, or I study after playing. So, both ways you can translate. In the textbook, it says I study after playing. But please note that pathami is a simple present. It is not a participle form. It's not a continuous tense. So, having played, I study. Saha sthitva gayati. Sthitva, having stood up. Having stood up, saha gayati, he sings. So two actions again, standing action and singing action. One is happening before the other. Saha sthitva gayati. Having stood up, he sings. Amba pakam kritva pariveshayati. Amba, mother, pakam kritva, having cooked, pariveshayati, serves. So again, two verbs, two actions, cooking action, serving action. Cooking action is happening before the serving action. So amba pakam kritva pariveshayati. Kritva, after having cooked, mother serves. Choraha arakshakam drishtva dhavitavan. Drishtva, having seen. Choraha, the robber or the thief. Having seen the police, the thief ran. Dhavitavan. So again, two actions. Choraha arakshakam drishtva dhavitavan. Esha patham pathitva nidram karoti. This person, Esha, that is in the feminine gender, patham pathitva, having read the lesson, nidram karoti, sleeps. Saha shalam gatva pathati, having gone to school or going to school, shalam gatva saha pathati, he reads. So what are we seeing which is common in these sentences? There are two actions happening and one action is happening before the other action. So whenever the action is happening before, we are listening to a similar sound, right? So let us see what all verbs we heard just now. Kriditva, having played. Sthitva, having stood up. Pakam kritva, that is having cooked, or just kritva means having done anything. Drishtva, having seen. Pathitva, having read. Gatva, having gone. Drishtva, having seen. Pitva, having drunk. Snatva, having bathed. Jnatva, having known. Aham artham jnatva vadami. Having known the meaning, I will, or I speak. I speak, having known the meaning, I speak. Te shabdam shrutva bhitavantah. Shabdam shrutva, having heard the noise or the sound, bhitavantah. They are scared. They were scared after hearing the noise or having heard the noise. Balaha artham prishtva jnatavantah. Having asked the meaning, the boys understood. Bhaktaha devam smritva pujayanti. Having thought of God, devotees worship. Balaha patitva rudanti. The boys cry, having fallen. Patitva, after falling or having fallen. Choraha tvam chatram grihitva gaccha. Tvam chatram grihitva gaccha. Having taken the umbrella. Grihitva. Gaccha, you go. Choraha dhanam chorayitva nitavan. The thief, having stolen the money, took it. Chorayitva, having stolen the money, he took it. Tvam mam uktva gaccha. Tvam mam uktva gaccha. You tell me and go. Or having told me, you go. Uktva, having told. Te phalam khaditva triptim praptavantah. Having eaten the fruit, they felt satisfied. Phalam khaditva. Balakaha devam vanditva gatavantah. Having prostrated to God, the boys went. So now you all have got a sense of how these words are sounding. Kriditva, pathitva, uktva, sthitva, gatva, patitva, smritva, prishtva, shrutva, jnatva. So all these are ending with tva, 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 right? So they are showing that one action is done and there is another action which has taken place. Now let us go to the rules. Now you'll be able to appreciate it better. Krit pratyaha kridantaha we have learned. So when there are two actions, first one is a completed action that is indicated by what we call tva pratyayaha. So we know that the words are what we are listening, tva, tva, tva. And that is that pratyaya which is added to the dhatu is called tva pratyaya. Tva suffix. What is the function of this tva pratyaya? It is to show that one action is complete and the other action is going to be, when there are two actions, the first action which is completed gets tva pratyaya. Tva pratyaya is added to the dhatu. Sorry. Tvantaha, used when okay. So we will come to this tva and lyap. So you have seen that there are two pratyayas on the screen. Tva pratyaya and lyap pratyaya. All the examples we saw now are of tva pratyaya. Now the difference is whenever there is an upasarga which is added to a dhatu, then the same function of tva is performed by lyap. So we will see examples. For now, you can just listen to what I'm saying. It will become clearer when we see examples. The same function is done both by ktva pratyaya and lyap pratyaya. Both are added to indicate that the action is completed, one action is completed, and where the action is completed, the first action gets ktva or lyap. So how do we know whether we have to add ktva or lyap? That is decided based on whether there is an upasarga or not. So again, we have to, which is why we have to be going back to the previous lessons. We have learned that upasarga has a lot of functions to a dhatu. For example, hasati or harati. Harati, hri dhatu. Harati is to rob or to take, etc. Hritva, choraha dhanam hritva gacchati. So hritva, there I'm saying the thief stole the money and went, steals the money and goes, or having stolen the money, the thief goes. But whereas when I add some upasarga to hri dhatu, it becomes samharati. The same dhatu hri, when I add the prefix sam, it becomes samharati. We have done upasargas in detail. Those who haven't attended us, please go back to the lessons and see what all an upasarga does. So when it becomes samharati, the meaning changes to killed. Ramaha Ravanam samharati. Ayodhyam gacchati. So here Rama kills Ravana, he goes to Ayodhya. So when you have to combine, what do? Ramaha Ravanam samhritya Ayodhyam gacchati. Having killed Ravana, Rama goes to Ayodhya. Here, when there is just a dhatu called hri, then we add ktva pratyaya. When the same dhatu has an upasarga added, for example, some upasarga here, some plus harati. So samharati, the meaning becomes having killed. Because there is an upasarga, we don't get ktva pratyaya, we get lyap pratyaya. So it becomes samhritya. So hri dhatu, it becomes hritva, only ktva pratyaya, because there is no upasarga. Whereas when there is some added to hri, then it becomes lyap pratyaya comes, and it becomes samhritya. It is wrong to say samhritva. That is what is explained here. Ktvantaha means ending with ktva pratyaya is used when upasarga is not attached to a dhatu. So for all dhatus, plain dhatus with no upasargas, with no prefixes, ktva pratyaya is used. But whenever there is an upasarga attached to a dhatu, for example, hasitva, having laughed. Vihasati, laughing heartily. Vi upasarga is there. There it becomes vihasya. It is not vihasitva, it is wrong. Hasitva becomes vihasya. Both are showing that an action is completed, having laughed. So, this is a golden rule we all have to remember. Ktva is used when upasarga is not attached to a dhatu. Lyap, lyabantaha means ending with lyap is used when upasarga is attached to a dhatu. Because this was shown here, I just explained. But like I said, when we do the examples, it will become very clear. So let us move forward. We saw the examples of ktva now. So dhatu, we'll see how it gets added. Gam dhatu plus ktva pratyaya gives gatva, having gone. Path dhatu plus ktva pratyaya gives pathitva, having read. Kri dhatu plus ktva pratyaya gives kritva, having done. Nam dhatu plus ktva pratyaya gives natva, having prostrated. Let us see examples. I'll do one thing. Today, I will request some of you to read out the sentences on the screen. These are examples of ktva pratyaya. Let us learn ktva perfectly, then we will move to lyap. So the ktva pratyaya, the words which have ktva pratyaya added are indicated in red. So what I would request you to do is to read the sentence and attempt the translation. So if you are stuck, I will help you. but please attempt the translation also. Depending on the number of who have raised their hand, we can give like maybe a few sentences per person. Okay. Once you finish your turn, please lower your hand. Again, when there is a chance in class, I will ask you to raise your hand and you can read. Okay. Priyadarshini Bhagini.
Namaste Bhagini.
Namaste. वाक्यद्वयं वक्तुं शक्यते भवत्या.
सः पत्रं लिखित्वा प्रेषयति. He sends the letter after writing.
Okay, that is also, I mean, you could say that, but a very... yeah, tell me.
Having writing the letter.
Having written the letter.
Having written the letter, he sends.
Perfect. Okay. So having written is a more, it's not exactly the same, because why I'm saying this is, what you said is also correct. He writes the letter and sends is also correct. Both ways you can say it. So either you can say having written, or you can say the way you said, he writes the letter and sends it.
Radha Vidyalayam Gatva Pathati. Having gone to the school, Radha studies.
Reads or studies. Yes.
Reads.
So, in your textbook, the sentences are translated little differently. Saha snatva pujam karoti, he worships after bathing. So, they have given it in present continuous tense. So, you can follow the textbook also if you want, but please note that you can also translate in other ways. Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini, Uttamam.
Dhanyavad.
Geeta Krishnamurthy Bhagini, I request you all to please lower your hand once you finish your turn.
Hari Om Bhagini.
Hari Om Bhagini.
Aham. Chhatrah prashnam prishtva artham jnatavan. Having no, Chhatrah prashnam prishtva artham jnatavan. Student having understood, having asked the question, understands.
Jnatavan is in past tense, so understood.
Understood.
So let us be very clear. Or you could say, asking the question, the student understood. That is also okay. You can translate like that also. Or having asked the question, the student understood.
Understood. Amba pakam kritva putram ahvayati. Mother, having cooked, invites the son.
Perfect.
Invited the son.
Ahvayati is correct. What you told first is correct. Invites.
Invites is present continuous.
No, ahvayati is just present. It is not present continuous.
Okay.
Invites.
Amba pakam kritva putram ahvayati. Mother, having cooked, invites the son.
Uttamam.
Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini. Urmila Mahendra Babu, Bhagini.
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Aham snatva devalayam gamishyami. After bathing or having bathed, I will go to the temple.
Uttamam. I will go. Uttamam. That is future tense. Yes.
Balike stitva geetam shrutavatyav. The two girls stitva geetam after learning the song.
Stitva means having stood up or after standing.
Okay. The two girls after standing heard the song.
Uttamam. Yes. Two girls after standing heard the song. Or Having stood up, the two girls heard the song. Uttamam Bhagini.
Thank you.
Dhanyavadaha. Okay, next. Tejas.
Yes, ma'am. Aham snatva devalayam gamishyami. After taking bath, I went to the temple.
Went, is it went?
Go.
Gamishyami?
Will go.
Will go, yes. Next sentence.
Balike sthitva geetam shrutavatyau. After sthitva means
Standing up.
after standing up, the two girls heard
Shrutavati, Shrutavatyau, heard the song. Sthitva, having stood up, or after standing up, the two girls heard the song. Uttamam Tejas. Actually, these two sentences were done already, but no worries. We had started reading, so I thought we will go ahead with it. Now, we will move to certain examples of Lyapa Pratyaya. Then I would require other volunteers also. So let us see how Lyapa Pratyaya works. So, Upasarga plus Dhatu, only Lyap is added. Tva is not added when there is an Upasarga. So, Aham Shalam Gatva Patham Pathami. Okay, so Aham Shalam Gatva Patham Pathami. So here, what is the dhatu for Gatva? Gam dhatu, same dhatu. But I am adding Tva Pratyaya to show that having gone to school or after going to school, I read. However, when there is an Upasarga added, so for example, let us take another color for Upasarga. So let us see this. A is the Upasarga. When the Upasarga A is added to the same dhatu, Gatva is also Gam dhatu. When I add an Upasarga, it becomes Agachati. So we learnt Gachati goes, Agachati comes. So Aham Griham Agatya Kridami. Having come home or after coming home, I play. So note these two sentences carefully. Aham Shalam Gatva Pathami. Having gone to school, I read. Aham Griham Agatya Kridami. Having come home or coming back home, I read. Both Gatva and Agatya, they both have the same dhatu Gam. But the difference is when I say Gatva, there is no Upasarga there. Therefore, I am adding Tva Pratyaya. But when I add an Upasarga A, Agachati comes, Gachati goes. The same dhatu, when Upasarga A is added, it changes the meaning. It becomes opposite, coming. So, A, when I add the Upasarga, I add Lyap Pratyaya and it becomes Agatya. Aham Gatva Kridami, Aham Agatya Kridami. This is the golden rule. Whenever there is Upasarga, it is only Lyap which gets added to the previous action. When there are two actions happening, one action happens and then the other action happens. Same function in terms of the meaning for Ktva and Lyap. Ktva is added when there is no Upasarga to the dhatu. Lyap is added whenever the dhatu is preceded by an Upasarga. More example. Aham Pathitva Gachami. Pathitva. There if you see Pathitva, it is Ktva Pratyaya which is added. When Pra Upasarga is added here, so if you see here, Pra Upasarga is added, Prapathati. Again, the meaning remains the same. Prapathati, it becomes Prapathya. Aham Prapathya Gachami. It enhances the meaning a bit, but the meaning doesn't change. Then Namati. Namati, we all know. Namati means prostrates. Then when aham devam natva gacchami, having prostrated to God, I go. Shishyaha gurum natva gacchati. The student having prostrated to Guru goes. Pranamati, that is Visheshena, again adding some more, enhancing the meaning. Pranamati. There, pra upasarga is added. So when pra upasarga is added to nam, same dhatu, nam dhatu for natva and here, then it becomes pranamya. So we all know pranamya shirasadevam gauri putram vinayakam, right? Stotram by Adi Shankaracharya. Pranamya. Here lyap is added. Why is lyap getting added? Because we are adding upasarga pra to the dhatu. So the same dhatu without upasarga natva, gurum natva shishyah gacchati. When upasarga pra is added to the dhatu, guruhu shishyah gurum pranamya gacchati. So I hope this is clear now. Let us see some examples of lyap pratyaya. Kshamyatam. Idanimapi. I will request some of you to read. Ram Krishnamurti Mahodayah Vakyadvayam Patatu.
Yes. Sa upavishya gayati. She sings.
Nashruyate Mahodaya. Somehow your voice is very feeble.
Yeah. Can you hear me, ma'am, now?
Yes.
Okay. Sa upavishya gayati. She sings. Upavishya means what?
Upavishya, having sat. Or sitting.
Yeah. She
Having sat.
Having sat, she sings.
Sings. Upavishyati. Upavishyati means sits. Like we know, vishati is the verb, upa is the upasarga. So upavishyati, it becomes upavishya. Uttamam. Next sentence.
Ravanaha Sitam apahritya Lankam gatavan. Ravana went to Lanka. Sitam apahritya means she
having abducted.
Ravana
having abducted Sita.
Having abducted Sita went to Lanka.
Uttamam. Otherwise, having abducted Sita, Ravana went to Lanka. So this harati, we know that harati is the word. It takes multiple upasargas. Samharati, praharati, viharati, apaharati. Right? We learned that shloka also last time. Prahara, ahara, vihara. We learned that shloka. Prahara, ahara, samhara, vihara, pariharavat. We learned. So here it is apa is the upasarga. So Ravanaha Sitam apahritya Lankam gatavan. Having abducted Sita, Ravana went to Lanka. I gave you an example of another upasarga with the same dhatu. Samharati means to kill. Apaharati means to abduct. So see how the meaning is changing based on the upasarga. So here apahritya means having abducted. We just learnt an example, samhritya. Ramaha Ravanam samhritya Ayodhyam gatavan. So having killed Ravana, Rama went to Ayodhya. So just to give you an example as to how upasargas change the meaning, and any upasarga when it is added, what the pratyaya added is lyap, not ktva. Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. Uttamam. Now Rema Bhagini.
नमो नमः भगिनी.
Namo Namaha.
सः दीपं निर्वाप्य निद्रां करोति.
पुनः एकवारं पठतु भगिनी.
दीपं निर्वाप्य निद्रां करोति. Nirvapya, can you just help me? What is the meaning?
Yes. Having put out or having switched off. Having
switched-
put out. Depends if it is a electric deepam, we say switched off, but here we can take it to be a lamp, any lamp. So having put out the lamp,
He went to sleep.
nidram karoti.
He sleeps.
Correct. He sleeps. So we should be very careful because we are learning grammar. We should be very careful when we translate and translate as far as possible to the exact tense. Saha deepam nirvapya nidram karoti. Having turned out or having put out the lamp, he sleeps. Uttamam.
भक्ताः मन्दिरं प्रक्षाल्य देवं नतवन्तः. The devotees, after having visited the temple,
Prakshalayati ityukte?
I don't know the meaning of prakshalayati. Is it?
Prakshalayati ityukte, having washed.
Washed, okay.
Or having cleaned, the act of cleaning. So having washed the temple,
or after having cleaned the temple, they bow to the devotee.
Devam natavantaha. They prostrated to God. So having cleaned the temple, the devotees prostrated to God. Devam natavantaha. Namati we know, right? Prostrate. So natavantaha is the bhuta kridanta, that is tavatu pratyaya. Devam natavantaha. The devotees prostrated to God having cleaned the temple. Uttamam bhagini. Dhanyavadaha. Next, Sarita bhagini.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yuyam sarve vigraham alankratya pujam kurut. You too. Kuruta. You having decorated the idol, you too do the worship.
Punah ekavaram. Yuyam sarve. Yuyam ityukte?
You all having decorated the idol, do the worship.
Yes, you all having decorated the after decorating the idol or having decorated the idol, pujam kuruta. You worship or do the puja. Okay, next one, Bhagini.
Chiram pushni kratya pibatu. Having warm the milk, drink.
Drink the milk after warming. Or after warming the milk, drink. Or having warmed the milk, drink. Anyway, we can say. Dhanyavadaha, Bhagini.
Thank you.
Okay. Idanim. We will see the examples from the textbook, a few of them, before we move to Panchami Vibhakti. So your textbook has also explained how when two actions are done in succession by a single agent, karta, tva suffix is added to the former root. You can read it in detail. Some forms of the verbs change by the addition of ktva. For example, prichhati becomes prishtva. How do we know this? Only by our practice we will get to know. For example, uttisthati. It becomes sthitva. Tishtati. Sorry, not uttisthati. Tishtati becomes sthitva, having stood up. So gacchati, gatva, tishtati, I already told, sthitva. Gayati becomes geetva. Vahati becomes udva. Yachati becomes dattva. Nayati becomes neetva. Smarati becomes smritva. Now, the next sentences, I will just read a few examples. Those who have textbooks, please go through. Those who have them before you. Arakshakaha choram anusritya gatavan. Chasing the thief, a police went. Or having chased the thief, the police went. Choraha dhanam apahritya dhavitavan. A thief ran away after stealing the money. I am reading out as per what is given in your textbook. Shastram abhyasya saha panditaha abhavat. So he became a learned man after studying the Shastras. Bhaktaha devaya pushpani samarpya gatavan. So the devotee went after offering flowers to God, or having offered flowers to God, he went. We can say like that also. Sevakaha vrikshat avatirya gatavan. Servant went away after climbing down from the tree. Tvam rajjum akrishya pashya. You pull the rope and see. Akrishya, having pulled the rope, or you pull the rope and see. Tvam deepam nirvapya shayanam kuru. Sorry, you sleep after putting off the lamp. Aham sanmargam ashritya gacchami. Having followed the path of sanmarga, or the right path, I go. Otherwise, you can also say what is given in the textbook, I get on following the right path. Saha yantram utpadya vikrayanam karoti. He manufactures the machine and sells it, or having manufactured the machine, he sells it. So, karmakari patram prakshalya gatavati. The maid servant went after washing the vessel. So, yap is also added in the same sense as tva, but it is suffixed only when a root has a prefix, that is an upasarga. Examples: pariharati, parihritya, samarpayati, samarpya, arohati, aruhya, upavishati, upavishya, prakshalayati, prakshalya. So all these examples which I just read out, they have an upasarga added to them. Therefore, we are adding lyap instead of tva pratyaya. Okay, idanim panchami vibhaktim prayah prarambham kurmaha. We will not be able to complete panchami vibhakti. We will just begin panchami vibhakti today. We will learn. So the way we are learning, and we need to be clear about this, about each vibhakti, is in each lesson we are being introduced to a new vibhakti. So we have completed 4. We are in the 5th vibhakti. There are samanya niyamaha and vishesha niyamaha for each vibhakti. There are general rules and special rules. So Ramaha Sitayai pushpam dadati. Rama gives the flower to Sita. So the recipient is in Chaturthi. We learned in the previous class lesson. Similarly, we also learned Vishesha Niyama, Ramaya Namaha. So whenever we use Namaha, Swasti, Swaha, Swadha, this is a Vishesha Niyama, a special rule. So whenever we say salutations, then the recipient of the salutations is in Chaturthi. So we are learning Samanya Niyamaha, the general rule for each vibhakti, followed by Vishesha Niyamaha, special rules. So this is how we have to structure learning, and learn in our minds also. While learning, we should structure it accordingly. Then it will be very clear. Also, I urge all of you to go through Sanskritam High School Grammar course, which is a completed course by Dr. Venkat Subramanian Mahodaya, where he has dealt with vibhaktis in detail. We are also relying on his, his lessons, but he has dealt with more in detail, many exercises. So apart from Pravesha, you can do that course also to help you understand better. Because Pravesha, we are facing a time crunch now. We still have, 2 more lessons, 9 and 10 to complete. We have to do shabdas, etc. So we won't be able to spend as much time on abhyasa. So even that high school grammar course has abhyasas which you can practice, and you will be able to appreciate the vibhaktis thoroughly. Idanim panchami vibhaktim pashyamaha. Ramaha phalam hastena lakshmanaya vrikshat dadati. Athava Ramaha vrikshat phalam lakshmanaya hastena dadati. Ramaha karta prathama vibhaktihi. Phalam dadati. Kim dadati? Phalam dadati. Karma padam. Phalam iti padam dvitiya vibhaktau asti. Katham dadati Ramaha athava kena dadati. Ramaha phalam hastena dadati. Karanavachaka shabdaha hastena iti. Kena, the instrument of giving, with the hand he gives. So that is in Tritiya Vibhaktihi. A quick recap for you. Then, to whom he gives, recipient, Lakshmanaya dadati, sampradana, that is in Chaturthi Vibhakti. So, Ramaha phalam hastena Lakshmanaya dadati. Now, where is Rama getting the fruit from? From where is he getting? Ramaha vrikshat phalam, from the tree. So, Rama is taking the fruit from the tree and giving it to Lakshmana. Tatra apadana, there is a separation happening. What is the separation? The fruit is separating from the tree. Ramaha pushpam vrikshat aniya sitayai dadati. So from the tree, Rama is taking the flower and giving Sita. So here again, there is a sense of separation of the fruit from the tree or the flower from the tree. Vrikshat dadati, from the tree. So whenever there is a sense of separation, apadana, then the object from where the separation is happening, that is in Panchami Vibhakti. So, vrikshat phalam patati. From the tree, the leaf falls. Vrikshat iti padam Panchami Vibhaktau asti. This is the Samanya Niyama, general rule, apadane Panchami. Whenever there is a separation, the object from which the separation is occurring, from iti vadamaha Angla Bhashayam. So the wherever the object or the person is being separated from, that takes Panchami. Vrikshat paranani patanti. From the tree, the leaves fall. Vrikshat. Another example is even when, there is the source of a river. For example, Gomukhat Ganga Pravahati. From Gomukh, Ganga flows. So there again, from the source is in Panchami Vibhakti. So Apadanam, let us just see Udaharanani for Apadanam for today, for separation. Vishesha Niyamaha we will do in the next class. So we will see Vrikshat Parnam Apatat. A leaf fell from the tree. Vrikshebhyaha phalani patanti. Vrikshebhyaha, again, from the trees, phalani patanti, fruits fall. Graminaha, gramat agachati. See here again, this is a very common example where a person or or maybe an animal, something, or where there is a person or an animal coming from somewhere. Again, there is a separation, right? So, gramat graminaha agachati. From the village, the villager is coming. The villager comes. So from, again there is a separation from the village. So village, that word will be in Panchami. Graminaha gramat agachati. Devataha swargat agachanti. From the heaven, gods come. Nirjaraha parvatat pravahati. The stream flows from the mountain. So all these examples which we saw just now, Chhatra Shalayaha agachati. So from the school, the girl comes. Shalayaha. Shala is in Strilinga. So Shalayaha would be Panchami Ekavachanam, like Ramayaha. Shalayaha Chhatra agachati. From the school, the girl comes. So we see whenever from any place a person is coming, that place from which that person comes is also in Panchami Vibhaktihi. So this is the general rule of Panchami. We will deal with the special rules in the next class. Please go through the examples of Tva and Lyap and Panchami, and also please do revise your Shabdas. We have done about 10 plus Shabdas, I think, so far. There are more Shabdas given to you in chapter 12 of your book. So please start memorizing. Only with Shabdas will we be able to use the Vibhaktis accurately. Without the Shabda, even though we know, okay, I need to use Panchami here, if we don't know the Shabda, we will be wondering what is the Panchami form of the word, right? So unless we know the Shabda, we won't know it. And also what we are doing, you in each class, After each vibhakti, we are giving you a table of that particular vibhakti forms. So once you memorize the shabda, you will automatically know these vibhakti forms for each word. So what we are learning at this stage is just the basics, the basic, very fundamental shabdas. This, if it is strong, building on this is very simple. But this has to be strong. It's like, the foundation of any building also. If the foundation is strong, we can build a huge, edifice on that. But if the foundation is weak, we can't do anything later, right? So the foundation has to be very strong. Then we can build and learn more shabdas. Quickly, I will see the questions. Jyotsna Bhagini, very good question. Tva pratyaya and lyap pratyaya, when they are added, and I should have explained this, the resultant word is an avyayam. So let me go back once. So when I say patitva, gatva, natva, or upavishya, the words we are getting, okay, let's see here, likhitva, gatva, prishtva, kritva, snatva, sthitva. The resultant words we are getting, all the words in red, when we add tva pratyaya to a dhatu, they are all avyayams. So they are called tvantavyayams. Okay, tvantavyayam means the avyayam. We all know what an avyayam is. It is an indeclinable. Sadrisham trishu lingeshu sarvasu cha vibhaktishu vachaneshu cha sarveshu yannavyeti tadavyayam. In all the vibhaktis, in all the vachanas, in all the tenses, it does not change. In all the numbers also, it does not change. So that which does not change at all is called an avyayam. We have learnt avyayams in the previous class. Those who haven't attended, please go through what an avyayam is. So all these resultant words, when we add tva pratyaya to a dhatu, are avyayams. So it is a tvantavyayam. It does not change. All these words remain the same in all vibhaktis, vachanas, whatever you are using, the other words in the sentence, the linga, it does not change. So it is a tvantavyayam. And similarly for lyap pratyaya, what we see here is lyabantavyayam. So agatya, prapatya, pranamya, they are all there. Lyap anta avyayam. Lyabantavyayam. When you combine the sandhi, lyap anta avyayam means the avyayam ending, anta is ending. The avyayam ending with the lyap pratyaya is called a lyabantavyayam. And avyayam ending with the tva pratyaya is called a tvantavyayam. Therefore, the words, resultant words, when you add tva and lyap pratyaya, are all indeclinables, avyayams. So tvantavyayam or lyabantavyayam, based on which pratyaya you are adding, they remain the same in all sentences. They don't change. Very good question, Jyotsna Bhagini, and I should have explained this in the lesson itself. Thank you for the question. Abhyasya, Jyotsna Bhagini, I will just verify about this and let you know. And Sujata Rani Bhagini also, I will let you know I will make a note of this, Abhyasya and Anusritya, and I will let you know exactly the dhatu forms for both of them. So also it would be helpful if you send me an email so that I'll remember and I will find out and I will get back to you. Okay, so we have come to the end of the questions also. Next class, we will deal with Vishesha Niyamaha of Panchami Vibhakti. So please practice this, all of you, and we will conclude as usual with Shanti Mantraha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादाः। आगामि रविवासरे पुनर्मिलामः। Binu Bhagini, Abhyasam Kritva is also correct. Abhyasya is also correct. Both mean the same. Abhyasam Kritva having done the exercise. Abhyasya having exercised. Both are correct. Okay, Dhanyavadaha. Agami Ravivasare Punarmilamah. Shanivasare Abhyasa Kakshya Bhavishyati. Dhanyavadaha.